My contributions to bounce music and my role in paving the way for future artists are celebrated and cherished. Though my life was tragically short, my spirit lives on through the music I created and the impact I made on the world. That I am Magnolia Shorty, and my story is one of resilience, talent, and the enduring power of music to uplift and inspire. My journey from the Magnolia projects to the heights of the music industry is a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the transformative power of art. An honor that recognized my contributions to the genre. Tragically, my life was cut short just as I was reaching new heights. On December 20, 2010, I was murdered in a drive-by shooting, a victim of the same violence I had witnessed growing up. My death was a devastating loss to the music community and to all who knew and loved me. The investigation into my murder revealed the involvement of gang members, highlighting the pervasive issue of gang violence in New Orleans. My funeral was a somber yet celebratory occasion, attended by many prominent figures from the music industry. They came to pay their respects and honor the legacy I had left behind. My life and music had touched countless people, and my influence continued to be felt long after my passing. That I and the years following my death, the community and the music world have continued to remember and honor me, collaborating with local producers and fellow artists who shared my passion for the genre. The energy in the studio was electric, and we lost track of time as we worked on perfecting the sound. In the afternoon, I took a break from the studio to run some errands. I visited a few local shops, picking up some outfits and accessories for my trip to Miami. I was excited about the performance. It was a chance to showcase my music to a broader audience and connect with fans outside of New Orleans. I also made a quick stop at a friend's house, catching up and discussing future collaborations. As the evening approached, I returned home to pack for my trip. My apartment in the Georgetown of New Orleans complex was cozy and familiar, a place where I could unwind after long days. I carefully selected my wardrobe for the performance, ensuring I had everything I needed for the journey ahead. My husband, Carl, was supportive as always. The neighborhood that had been my home was now the scene of a horrific crime. As the minutes passed, my strength waned. The darkness closed in, and I felt my life slipping away. The authorities arrived shortly after, but it was too late. I was pronounced dead at the scene, a victim of a brutal drive-by shooting. My life, which had been filled with promise and talent, was cut short in an instant. The news of my death sent shockwaves through the community, and the music world mourned the loss of one of its brightest stars. I was only 28 years old, but my impact on the bounce music scene and the lives of those who knew me would be remembered. My funeral, held at the Fifth African Baptist Church, was attended by many, including prominent figures from the music industry like Lil Wayne, Birdman, and Juvenile. I am Magnolia Shorty. My last 24 hours were filled with a mix of routine tasks, preparation for an upcoming performance, and an unexpected, tragic end. On December 19, 2010, I woke up early to a relatively normal day in New Orleans. As a prominent figure in the bounce music scene, my days were often busy with music-related activities, meetings, and personal errands. That morning, I began by going through my usual routine, checking emails, making phone calls, and planning for the day ahead. I had a performance scheduled in Miami, Florida, and I needed to ensure everything was in place. After a quick breakfast, I headed to a local studio to work on some tracks for my upcoming album. The studio was my sanctuary, a place where I could pour my heart and soul into my music. The bounce beats reverberated through the walls as I laid down some new verses, helping me with the preparations and discussing plans for the future. Night fell, and I decided to make one last trip out to pick up something from a nearby location before settling in for the night. As I drove through the gates of my apartment complex, I was unaware that my life was about to take a tragic turn. Another car followed me in, blocking my path. In a matter of moments, the situation escalated into a nightmare. Two men emerged from the car and began shooting. The sound of gunfire shattered the stillness of the night. I was hit multiple times, and the pain was overwhelming. My mind raced with thoughts of my family, my music, and the dreams I had yet to fulfill. Despite the chaos, a part of me still hoped for a miracle, for someone to come to my aid, but help did not arrive in time. The assailants fled, leaving me and Jerome Hampton, who was with me, gravely wounded. They came to pay their respects and celebrate the life of a woman who had left an indelible mark on New Orleans and beyond. In the aftermath, investigations into the shooting led to the indictment of several gang members, shedding light on the violence that plagued the community. My death was not just a personal tragedy but a reflection of the broader issues facing my city. Despite the pain and loss, my music continued to inspire and influence, a testament to the legacy I left behind. I am Magnolia Shorty, and though my life was tragically cut short, my spirit lives on through the music and the memories of those who knew and loved me. As I continue reflecting on my life, I remember the early days that shaped who I became. My real name was Renetta Yemeka Lowe, born on September 30, 1982, in New Orleans, Louisiana. Growing up in the notorious Magnolia projects, my surroundings were tough, but they instilled in me a resilience and strength that would carry me through the challenges ahead. The Magnolia projects were known for their high crime rates and difficult living conditions, but they were also a breeding ground for talent and creativity. From a young age, I was drawn to music. The beats and rhythms of New Orleans were in my blood, and I found solace and expression in the burgeoning bounce music scene. Bounce music, with its high-energy beats and call-and-response style, was the soundtrack of my youth. It was raw, energetic, and reflective of the realities of life in New Orleans. I was discovered by Birdman, a significant figure in the rap scene who saw potential in my talent. He introduced me to the world of Cash Money Records, one of the most influential labels in hip-hop. Alongside Ms. T. Trichelle Williams, I became one of the first women signed to the label. Despite the success and recognition, life was not without its struggles. The same streets that inspired my music were also fraught with danger. The violence and crime that plagued my community were ever-present threats. But I remained dedicated to my craft, using my platform to uplift and inspire others. As I continued to rise in the music industry, I never forgot my roots. I was deeply connected to my community and passionate about giving back. Whether through mentoring young artists or participating in local events, I aimed to make a positive impact and pave the way for the next generation of musicians. In 2009, I performed at the South by Southwest Music Festival, further solidifying my place in the industry. My performance was a testament to the enduring appeal of bounce music and its ability to transcend regional boundaries. That same year, I won Best Bounce Song at the Underground Hip Hop Awards in New Orleans. This was a groundbreaking achievement in a male-dominated industry, and it opened doors for future female artists in the genre. In 1997, I released my debut album, Monkey on the Dick, which quickly became a bounce classic. The album captured the eccentric elements of New Orleans culture, sexuality, comedy, and hard-edged dance rhythms. It resonated with listeners and established me as a force in the bounce music scene. My work exemplified the vibrant, unapologetic spirit of New Orleans, and I became known as the Queen of Bounce. Throughout my career, I collaborated with many prominent artists in the industry, including Juvenile and the Hot Boys. My music was a celebration of life and resilience, reflecting the highs and lows of my journey. I performed at various venues, spreading the infectious energy of bounce music and connecting with fans who saw their own stories reflected in my lyrics.